Hey you guys, tonight we're at Overland Bound HQ and we are driving a desktop, not an Overland rig. But I wanted to show you the awesome that is Google Earth and its applications for overlanding. Google Earth is a three-dimensional mapping tool. It's a tool for your computer, you get online, and we can go and explore a destination and get the spatial context of an area before we even set foot in our rig. That really helps when you're out in the middle of no place. You sort of know where things are and you'd be amazed at how well you know the area once you actually get there. So we're going to cover a few things tonight. I'm going to show you some navigation in Google Earth, but that's relatively straightforward, so we'll breeze through that. Then I'm going to create a route and I'm going to show you how you can export that route or route, depending on where you're from, and share it with friends and family. You can also convert it to a GPX file, and that's a standard format for your own navigation hardware, so that if you've got a, say a DeLorme, you can read that GPX and then you can follow it when you're out exploring. So let's get behind the desktop and get started. Hello planet. All right, this is the world that we love to explore. Now, the awesome thing about Google Earth is you can type in any destination and you can go and explore that area, which is exactly the point for overlanding. Right now, I'm going to click on a destination in Oregon that was saved by somebody else. And here we go. Boom. Now, look at the amazing amount of detail, right? You know, that's why, you know, talking about the environment and overlanding and sharing destinations, it's really about education and making sure that people really respect the environment and preserve the environment, because the notion that you can, you know, keep places a secret from people, or you can have your own, you know, private paradise that nobody else knows about, that's just not sustainable. I mean, you got tools like Google Earth, everybody's going to know where it's at. It's all about responsible use. That's just the reality. All right, so let's use this tool. And recently, Corey and I went to Moab, Utah, so I'm typing in Moab, Utah. Let's take a flight. And talk about whiplash. All right, here we are at Moab. Now, I'm going to zoom in so you can see the amazing amount of detail. Look at this. It is, I'm going to call that fairly incredible, right? Really amazing. Now, different areas of Google Earth have different levels of detail. It's not all this detailed, but we know as time goes on, it's just going to get more and more detailed. Now let's take a look. I'm going to take you to a couple of the campsites that Corey and I recently went to, and we're going to start out at our campsite at Gemini Bridges. I've saved the location, so I just double-clicked on it, and now we're going to zoom right there. But look at this level of detail here. You can see as a tool, you know, for overlanders, it's really amazing. My rig was parked right here. And the three-dimensional detail is really incredible. And in fact, if we go over here just a few hundred yards, we have the canyons, right? You want to explore canyon lands? Take a look at Google Earth. Look at this. And again, you can see why this is really just an amazing tool. You know, one demonstration here, I know this area a little bit, but if you look, you can see it's even got undercuts as well. So just an incredible amount of detail. All right, now let's fly on over to our first spot of the night. If you guys, you know, you listen to our podcast, or you'll see more video on it, but we got stuck. If you follow us on some of our social media, we, you know, had a hard landing at night. Hard landing meaning we showed up after dark and just needed to find a camp spot instead of there being any daylight, and it was right here. This is where Corey and I had lunch the morning after. We slid down this path because it was covered in snow, and the Overland bound rig came to a stop right here, and in the freezing temperature we spent the night in the rig. But again, you know, the level of detail is amazing. It even has the rock that covers the trail. And another cool thing about Google Earth is people can they can add their own pictures, and you can see photos of the destination as well. Okay, so point made. Before you go to a location, you can use this tool and get a real good sense of where you're going to be and how you want to get there and what the terrain's going to be like. Okay, now let's fly on over to Moab again, and I'm going to show you how to plot a course. All right, so let's get started. Now, over here on the left-hand pane, this navigation pane, I'm going to add another folder. And if you guys know how to use a file manager, you pretty much know how to do this. And I'm going to add Moab. And you're going to see that's important when I create my route and I want to export it. So I create a folder. Okay, now I've got this folder over here for Moab, and now the sequence of events is a little bit funky. I've highlighted the folder here. That's not as important, but now you see I have this path icon towards the top. I click on it, and I'm going to write in a description here. Moab to Gemini Bridges, and I can start clicking the path. Now I'm going to choose style and color, and for color I'm going to choose green. Okay, and for width I'm going to say 2 pixels just to make it a little bit thicker. Okay. And I can start clicking on the map. Now, when I make a path that is on a major road, I really don't care about accuracy, right? Because you're just going to be able to follow the road. So I'll zoom way up here and start clicking my points. And then when I get to a turn, I can get a little bit more accurate and start plotting my points more accurately. You guys can't see this, but in order to scroll, I'm actually using the arrow keys, and WASD or WDSA also works to navigate. And then I have a mouse wheel on my mouse, which allows me to zoom in and zoom out. Again, this is a major road, so for speed, I'm going pretty, quickly for the purposes of this demo, but you guys can be as accurate as you want. And when you're actually creating a trail that people will follow off-road, then your accuracy becomes really important, depending on how off-road you are. I'm going to basically fast forward right now. All right, now we're getting off the beaten path here. I'm going to get just a little bit more accurate. Oh, to remove that point, I right-clicked on the mouse. So now I've zoomed in just a little bit to get a little bit more accurate. This is still a main road, so I'm not super concerned, but basically my level of detail changes with the road. Now again, you want to be fairly accurate when you get to a turning point especially. And this path is exactly what's going to go into you or your friend's GPS device or navigation device. So this line will actually show up. So the more accurate you make it, the more likely you are to not get lost when you're out here. Okay, now we're getting fairly close to the campsite. I'm increasing my resolution. And getting a little bit more granular. Now, in our case, when we came around this corner, this is where we got off road and where we turned. And now I'm going to be really accurate because we are going off the beaten path. And I am clicking right exactly where we drove off road to find this location right here. Now, I am all done, and I'm going to say OK and save that. Now you'll see over here I have this path that is Moab to Gemini Bridges. And it goes all the way back to Moab. Okay? All right. Now, here comes the fun part. If I right-click on Moab to Gemini Bridges, I can save the place as, and on my desktop, it says Moab to Gemini Bridges. I'm going to choose a KML file. I'm going to save that out. And now I've closed Google Earth, Moab to Gemini Bridges. If you have Google Earth installed, you can double click that. Google Earth will open. And it will zoom in to that path. There it is. Okay? You can share that with anyone. Send it in an email. Now, I'm going to show you how to make this a GPX file in a moment. I want to show you another feature of Google Earth. This tack is a place icon. So if you're going to prepare this map for somebody, you can create that tack and you can say, hey, that is the start point. And then you can also change the icon to a number of different icons. You can add custom icons. So it's quite in depth. For this one, for the trailhead, I'm just going to call it 1. Start point. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to place another one at this turn. And I'm going to call it first turn. Oops, I was doing that wrong. Okay, first turn. And now it's number 2. And so on. You can also do things like there's my third point. I'm changing the icon. I am changing it to a danger sign. And I am calling this "Don't fall off here." It's kind of funny, but in all seriousness, on the paths I create, if there are, dangerous points, I'll mark them as such, and I'll give some detail. I'm going to show you a place that I go to quite frequently, which is Slick Rock Trail, and I'm going to double click on that. We're going back to California right now, into the Sierras. So here's Slick Rock Trail, and I've got favorite camp spot, trail impassable in winter, water crossing which is seasonal, the Slick Rock on Slick Rock Trail, the steps, the reservoir. So I have all this marked on the trail, but then if I go to, my favorite camp spot, I can point out, I can show people exactly where to camp. And by the way, all of these trails that we've traveled to before are available on our forums. There's a section called downloadable routes, and we continue adding routes to the forums, so you can go there and download some of these. Okay, so now going back to Moab, to Gemini Bridges. And we exported that KML file. We're going to go KML to GPX converter. Okay, KML to GPX.com. Select conversion, KML to GPX. We're going to choose the file. You guys are going to see all of the Overland bound work on my desktop and all of our Instagram pictures. And here it is. Moab to Gemini Bridges. And I'm going to say waypoints, tracks, convert. It is going to do its magic, and you can say download your new file here. There's the GPX file. I'm saving it back to the desktop. That's it, you guys. That GPX file will work in your navigation device, and just follow the instructions that you have with your navigation device to import that GPX file. But then you could follow this from Moab to Gemini Bridges. And I will probably be uploading this to the forums as well. Now, before we go, let us go to Paris. Another place we really like is Bald Mountain Lookout Trail. And the Bald Mountain Lookout is where we have had the off-the-grid rallies. Let's go take a look at that. Again, these are located on our forum site. can download it, and again, you can see the level of detail that I provided to get to the top of Bald Mountain. Look, that's probably us. There are rigs on the top of the mountain. All right, that's it, you guys. I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope it's a useful tool. Google Earth is free. I would go and download it. And until next time, outfit and explore.